I've got a new bill and some video footage today you are not going to want to miss. Let's take a look at what just hit the streets. A new House bill would block pay for members of Congress if the U.S. defaults. They're saying, listen, if you don't do your job, you should not get paid. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree or disagree that we should stop the pay of Congress if they cannot perform their duty. And we're hearing that if we default, this is going to be impacting everybody. Fixed income benefit individuals that collect from Social Security, veterans benefits, disability, SSI, all of these will be impacted. This will impact the entire nation. Our good credit standing, 330 million people are depending on them right now to do their jobs. And they're saying if you do not do it, you should not get paid. Let me know if you agree in the comments down below. Now, take a look. Like I said, we're going to look at the video footage, but very quickly, articles coming out on this. A bipartisan bill set to be announced Thursday would block members of Congress from getting paid if the U.S. enters debt default or if the government shuts down. The No Pay for Congress During a Default or Shutdown Act, shared in advance with NBC News, would withhold lawmakers' pay for the duration of the debt limit breach or a lapse in federal funding, an attempt to motivate legislators to prevent either situation. And here's a quote: "If Congress can't fulfill basic obligations tied to the strengthening and security of our country, lawmakers should not be rewarded with a salary until they do their jobs," one of the creators of this bill said. And typically, I do not share my personal opinion here on the channel. I just report the news, but I got to let you know on this one, I 100% agree. There are so many people depending on them to do their jobs that they have been elected to do, and if they cannot do it, and so many people are depending on this, I don't think they should get paid. As a matter of fact, I don't think they should get back pay either. As long as people are suffering and they're not performing, don't pay them for that duration of time. Maybe that will motivate them. Maybe I'm too harsh. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But you guys, I'm going to link this article in the description for you. It just came out, and I'm going to share with you the video footage so you can hear it directly from the Problem Solvers Caucus from the House of Representatives that has assembled this bill. This is bipartisan, saying, let's put the pressure on Congress and cut their salaries if they do not perform. Now, if you appreciate the updates, do me a quick favor, smash the like button, subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free, and share this out. If you agree with this bill, share it out on social media platforms so other people can see what is currently being proposed for Congress. But with that being said, you guys, let's take a look at this video footage that just came out on this No Pay for Congress bill. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Joining us right now for more on the debt ceiling standoff are the co-chairs of the bipartisan House Problem Solvers Caucus, Democratic Congressman Josh Gottheimer of New Jersey and Republican Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania. He introduced a bill that would prevent members of Congress from getting paid during a default. Gentlemen, welcome. Congressman Fitzpatrick, that's a brilliant idea. How'd that go over in Congress?
Well, it should be common sense. I've also introduced similar legislation when we have a government shutdown. In fact, I wrote a personal check in excess of $10,000 of my own funds back to the Treasury when we had a shutdown in my first term. I think, it shouldn't take that type of incentive to force members of Congress to do their jobs. But if that's what it takes, so be it. And myself and Abigail Spanberger introduced a similar bill with respect to the debt ceiling. Why
the heck didn't they pass it?
Well, it just got introduced, and hopefully it gets taken up. I also introduced a stock trading ban for members of Congress that covers everyone from Matt Gaetz to AOC and everyone in between. We tried to get that taken up for consideration last Congress unsuccessfully. Hopefully the fate of that bill changes this Congress.
Can I add one thing to your legislation? Maybe not only does Congress not get paid if the debt ceiling is defaulted on, but there's no back pay either. So if it takes you 3 weeks to work it out, that's 3 weeks of lost pay.
Correct. And that's an important distinction, because a lot of people will introduce, a lot of state legislators across America, by the way, have introduced a gimmicky bill that basically just delays pay. It doesn't forfeit it completely. It should be forfeited. And that's what our bill does.
Great. Congressman Gottheimer, good to see you this morning. Why don't you tell us where you think things stand right now? Do you feel like there is a deal that's going to get done? Because it certainly sounds like it after everything we've heard the last week.
Well, I think first and foremost, we know that a deal has to get done, right? It's not an option to default and to not pay our bills and to send the markets and our reputation in the world into a tailspin. So I think there's a deep recognition, and I think it's a good thing we've now focused the players in the room and I know they're incredibly hard at work. So that's good. And we've got to go fast because time's not on our side, as Secretary Yellen said. So to me, that's good progress. Brian and I in the Problem Solvers Caucus for months now have been pushing for people to sit down and actually talk. We've put out ideas, I think, good ones in terms of calling for suspending the debt ceiling, taking that off the table as an issue and not playing politics with the full faith and credit of the country, and also setting up a bipartisan commission to deal with longer term fiscal issues in our country, because we have to deal with both. And so I hoping that's going to be the outcome of these negotiations.
So the Freedom Caucus has been complaining about some things that might be changed. The progressives on the other side have been complaining about things they don't want to give away. Do you guys feel like you're getting what you want, basically, if there is some agreement that's worked out between the two sides? What do you think, Josh?
Well, I think if it's worked out on both sides, we're going to get what we want, right? I mean, we need that. Everyone's not going to be happy with everything. That's, to me, always a good deal if everyone's a little upset. And, it's not going to be perfect. But the bottom line is we're going to make sure that the full faith and credit of the United States continues, make sure that we don't give China, the government of China, any gifts by defaulting, and that we pay our bills and we do the right thing. So to me, listen, it's going to be tough choices on both sides. I know that's what the parties are working on now. But in the end, we just cannot afford to even think of defaulting. I know some of our colleagues on both sides might think that's a good idea. That is a terrible idea for our country and for people's savings and 401ks and pensions.
Brian, the Problem Solvers Caucus put forth a while ago, I think it was several months ago, something that kind of said, here's how we can find agreement between the two sides. Is what you're hearing that's being discussed right now kind of reflective of that, or are there places where it broadly differs?
Well, the only difference is I haven't heard any talk about a fiscal commission similar to Simpson-Bowles to deal with the long-term sustainability of our debt and deficit. That doesn't mean that wouldn't be brought on the table, but this is exactly what our caucus does. We're a bipartisan centrist group that give a signal to leadership both in the House and the Senate as to where the points of intersection are between moderate Democrats and moderate Republicans, which, that centrist bloc makes up the majority of Congress. We don't want the extremes controlling the day. We want the pragmatic people that reflect really the majority of Americans. Mostly what's being discussed right now is very similar. The only exception is the long-term commission, which I referenced. But I just want to say this. The fact that the president and the speaker are sitting down one-on-one, negotiating in good faith, that is exactly what we want right now. And that's a very, very good indication for what's to follow.
So there you have it, you guys. That was Fitzpatrick and Gottheimer who are leading the charge on this. And they're saying they shouldn't get paid if they do not do their jobs. And we heard the reporter vocalize as well, no back pay. As long as Americans are suffering, members of Congress should not get paid. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, this is very important because we are very close to the potential X date, as White House Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has warned that the U.S. could default as soon as June 1st of 2023. So we're getting close to about a week away. And right now, President Joe Biden is at the G7 summit, and we heard Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy say there will not be an agreement until he gets back, as the aides that have been talking for both sides, they walked out on each other yesterday. Yesterday evening, they said, we are pausing, we are stopping. There is no agreement. So right now at this current time, it does not look good. And if you want to get the latest on the negotiations and what could potentially happen if we do default and how bad this could get, be sure to check out my channel and check out this video right here for the latest. But you guys, I will keep you up to date on everything, every step of the way, so that way you know what's going on. But hopefully maybe this bill will put some additional pressure on the members of Congress to get things done. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I will keep you up to date, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.